So I made it to Vanderbilt Mansion. We were going to do this yesterday, but got a little sidetracked. So here today, and the grounds are beautiful. Like you can see the bridge over the little pond from you come in at the main entrance, and there's a dam over here. You can just see the top of it. I'll get a shot from below. It's kind of noisy. And of course the pond that it makes. Some Canadian geese and their goslings. This property's huge, several hundred acres. I'm gonna go check out the Italian gardens just up the hill in front of me here, and we'll go up to the mansion. So I'm in the Italian gardens. It's a pretty large complex, only about a third of which are actually planted at the moment. You can see behind me. There's a what they call a reflecting pool here with a statue at the other end. Sign says it's under renovation, so it's empty at the moment, but yeah, I can just imagine what these are like when they're like fully planted and everything's in bloom. There's a lower garden that was closed off, but oh yeah, this one's open. So this view gives you a little better idea of the shapes of some of these gardens without the plants in them. They're just starting to come up. Alright, so we made it up to the mansion, which is right here next to me, and this was built, I believe it was Cornelius Vanderbilt. He made the money, and like the first two generations of Vanderbilts made the money, and then the kids kind of spent it, and apparently after a few generations, like there wasn't much original Vanderbilt money left, because this is their seasonal house that they would come to in the spring and fall. They had a place in New York, they had a place in New England, and this is on a couple hundred acres of Hudson riverfront property. At the time in the late 1800s, this house cost $2.25 million in late 1800s dollars. So it was expensive. But we did the tour, so I'm gonna show you some clips from inside. mention that the house sits on Hudson River front. So this is a view. You can see the Hudson in the back there. I would imagine that back in the day, most of these trees down there probably weren't here, so you could see the river. And it's quite a drop here, maybe 100 feet down to the next like little bluff there. Also found out that this mansion, I keep calling it a house, was the first place in Hyde Park with electricity, which they generated themselves from an on-site hydroelectric plant. They had 2 floors just for servants, basically. The bottom floor for the male servants and the top floor for the female servants. And there's something like 54 rooms. They had a birthing room, which apparently is a place where people could come watch the birth of a new child. It's a very European thing to do, I guess. It was never actually used for that intent, but they had it because the Europeans were doing it. Always keeping up with the Joneses. And apparently the Vanderbilts were new money, whereas like the Roosevelts down the road were old money. So Vanderbilts were trying to kind of show off their status and making it so they kind of had to be acknowledged by the old money. It's a very weird dynamic there. Like, you're both obscenely rich, just go with it. So that building is the visitor center for the park, but it's original to the property, and it used to be the guest house for the mansion. And the guest house could be a small mansion in its own right. Okay, so this is the gate where you leave the park. One of several entrances to the property. This has been a really cool park. Very opulent inside the mansion, and the grounds are huge and beautiful. And gates from this side. We're gonna head over to FDR in a little bit, and home of Franklin Roosevelt, National Historic Site. Check that out.